Hey everyone, welcome to Cupboard Creations. My name's Gareth and this is my little corner of the internet for playing my food. Today I'm doing a chutney. I've kind of listened to you, I've watched all the metrics, I know that the chutneys and things like that are something you love and I love doing them as well. So this one's kind of really cool. It's based on an old recipe I did probably a year, maybe more ago, of like a pork loin with a kind of spiced pear sauce. And the other day I was doing some pork, I used that sauce, but I needed to make it in advance. I just shoved it in the fridge. Later on, bit of cheese and crackers, spreading a little bit on it to see what it tastes like. It was great, absolutely loved it. So I've kind of developed it and made it into a chutney. So this is my spiced pear chutney and it's really warming, this one. It's got a lot of kind of really nice subtle spices in it. So there's not too much heat. You can all like smash some heat in if you want, but all we're using to add to that, you know, is ginger. We're not using any chili or anything like that. So we're going to get started straight away, and really simple. You want some pears. So you want 4 kind of conference pears, a good size pear, and we're just going to, you know, skin them and then chop them down into nice little cubes. So I'll crack on with that. I'll see you in a bit. So once you've got your pear skinned, just top and tail, and then we're just going to pull that core out by chopping it in half and then just running a knife nice and gently, little triangle, should be able to just pop it out. Don't worry about the end bit, that's not where the seeds are, they're the only bits you really want to get rid of. And then just chop it down nice and small, probably about 1 centimetre pieces, and there you go. That'll just make it cook a bit quicker. Okay, so the last of the pear, we can pop in our little bowl. And then what you're going to do, because you don't want the pear to go kind of brown, which you can do, much like apples, we're going to put some cider vinegar in. So we're going to use 150 ml of cider vinegar. We're just going to put it over now, because why not? That will stop it browning. And that way, while we toast the spices and things like that, it's not going to kind of go off. So I will now see you over the hob. And that's it, we can start putting everything together. Okay, so here we go. The really cool thing about making chutneys, once you've got some little bits of prep out of the way, it's all really, really simple. So what we've got in here is a nice big saucepan. We're going to put, or we have put, a tablespoon of vegetable oil in there. We're just going to heat that up and we're going to add in our spices. And spice-wise, we're going to use 2 teaspoons of yellow mustard seeds. I love these because they just have these little pops of flavour, especially when you're eating it, and they just kind of like, I like a little bit of crunch or something in a chutney that gives texture. So I'm also adding in a teaspoon of caraway seeds, which are great little things. They add a little bit of spice, but they also, again, add that kind of little hit of it in there. Instead of it going all the way through, you'll just get these little bursts. And then to that, I'm going to add a teaspoon of ground ginger, and that's going to bring that heat and the spice in. So we can pop that in there, and then a teaspoon of ground nutmeg, and that's just one of those classics, isn't it? That warming kind of nutmeg taste. Oh, beautiful stuff. Smell it instantly. So once you've got that done, all you're going to do is kind of give that stir around, keep stirring it a little bit, but just warm those spices through until you kind of get that lovely fragrance in the air. Yeah, there it is. Kind of like the kitchen's now getting all those lovely smells. It smells kind of, yeah, slightly Christmassy, slightly autumn, you know, that lovely kind of beautiful stuff. So now just pop in that pear and cider mix. Should I say cider vinegar mix? Yeah, you wouldn't want to use cider. Probably wouldn't preserve well enough. Make an excellent sauce though. But then all you can do, give that a good stir around. Kind of lift some of those spices off the bottom. So that's your basis. Now we're just going to add in some sweet things. So we're going to put in 100 grams of soft light brown sugar in there. And then we're going to put in 80 grams of sultanas. We'll just pop those in. Now I love using sultanas for this because I've tried using raisins. But especially in things like chutneys, I find the raisins stay very, very hard, whereas the sultanas really plump up once they're kind of cooked through. And they're really, really delicious. So we just, like I say, just stir it all in. And then that is the basis of your chutney done. That's great. So now just bring it up to a simmer, pop your lid on, give it 10 minutes. And that 10 minutes with the lid on is just going to kind of help cook it. Then we're going to reduce it down. So pop that on, help all of that pear kind of cook down, all those spices really intermingle with it. It's going to be really, really lovely. So while you're here, just to say thanks very much for watching the videos. Really loving this. I'm getting so close now to that point where kind of YouTube might have to actually start paying me a little bit, which is awesome. So all I need is a couple of more subscribers, a few more little watches, and we're good to go. So if you do enjoy these videos, if you like the effort that's put in and you like what I'm doing, if you could consider dropping a subscribe, leaving a like, just kind of helps YouTube kind of say, all right, we're going to start letting this guy go a bit further forward. So thanks very much. See you in about 10 minutes. My time, not yours. Okay, that's had its 10 minutes now. So we can pop the lid off. And now we're just going to kind of crush it down a bit. So you can use a fork, the back of a spoon, or if you've got one, potato masher. Perfect for this. So make sure it's one with some decent holes. And then just give it a bit of a crush down. And what that's going to do is break up some of that pear, because you don't want huge lumps. You know, and I said you don't need to worry about chopping it down really small, and this is why. So all we're going to do is just kind of run the masher through it. Just kind of squeeze those bits down, and that will give you, you know, some little chunks and some nice kind of smoother bits. Okay, that's perfect. That's kind of where we want it. We want those bits of mush, and we want those nice little chunks in there as well with the sultanas and the pear, and that's going to be perfect. So what we can do now is we're just going to let that bubble away with the lid off, probably about 15 minutes or so. You want it on a nice low simmer. It's going to kind of help the stuff cook down. It's going to help all those spices combine, and you're going to get a really lovely flavour at the end of it. And what you're looking for, essentially, because this one's a bit, I can't tell you it's going to take 15 minutes because it depends on your hob, depends what temperature you got it at. So what you're looking for is you're stirring it, when you can drag a spoon across the bottom and you see the bottom and everything oozes back, that's when it's kind of the perfect level for the chutney. That kind of works with pretty much any sauce or chutney, something like that. So that's great. So what that's doing now is the perfect time if you want to sterilise some jars. So the way I do it is just kind of grab your jars. This will make about 500 ml. So if you've got enough for that, then wash them in hot soapy water, put the jars without drying into the oven at 140 degrees C for 15 minutes. And the lids, just pop them in a bowl, pour over a whole load of boiling water for the same amount of time. Once that's done, sterilised jars, ready for your perfect chutney. Okay, that's spot on now. And you'll see as you, like I said, as you drag that spoon, you can see it oozes back in really gently. And that is perfect. So we can just turn that off. Our chutney is done. We can just take it over and jar it up. So I've sterilised my jars, and yeah, it's just a case of popping it in. I always like to pop it in hot. Yeah, hot jars, hot chutney. Let it cool in the jars. You'll get a better seal, and you've got much, much less chance of anything nasty getting in there. So there we go. A little bit left over just to give it a nice taste. Probably should do before I put it in case it's awful, but I'm pretty confident. Yep, I've practiced this one enough. It's there, it's got a bit of sharpness, but it's got that lovely underlying kind of warmth from those spices and a really sweet kind of pear and sultana stuff. It just works so well together. Like I say, it will go with everything you'd want it for. You know, cold meats, cheeses, little platter, that on the side, absolutely delicious. Great as a condiment as well. You know, put it with pork. You can even use this with the kind of spiced stuff. So if you're doing a curry with naans and things like that, absolutely beautiful, just as a little bit of sweet kind of like a mango chutney really, but adds just this extra layer of flavour. So there we go. That is my spiced pear chutney. I hope you give it a go. I hope you enjoy it, and I'll catch you next time. Cheers.